Yo, yo, yo. What are you guys talking? Turn your music down. No. You turn your music down. What are you guys doing? Dude, mods need to be bonked already this morning? What are you guys doing? Crazy. You crazy boys. What's going on? What are you guys doing? Raised to glob levels. Yeah, old man Wick needs to chill, dude. You good, Sight? Good, brother. What's up, man? Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. My peoples, what is going on? Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Random mode. Wait, we have random mode already? Yo, check that noise out. Yeah, dude. For Gabe in. Sick, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Wick, where's your random mode, dude? Wick, where's your random mode? Old man Wick. Turn down your music. It's good to see you guys. Yeah, so we'll be doing starting some 7 Days to Die on the weekends, man. Yeah. Should be some good times, man. I have no idea what to expect, really. I've seen a little bit of the game, but it was a long time ago, and I think it's evolved since then too. So don't know how I don't sleep in. Your beat. I don't stay up as late as you do either, though, dude. I used to be a night owl, but my wife converted me to an early sleeper, early riser. So I don't know, dude. I just, part of it's just wanting to be consistent with the schedule, man. So if you think that there are days that I don't want to just stay in bed, you're wrong. But didn't get home until after midnight from work last night, dude. Jeez, bro. Yeah, dude. I mean, I was in bed and passing out before 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? So, that's how I maintain the schedule. I make sure that I'm going to bed fairly early, and that's how I get up early enough to keep doing this. So, that's my trick, anyways. I mean, for the longest time, I was a night owl, dude, and I worked all kinds of different shifts and everything too, man. So, I've worked a lot of different shifts, and I used to always be a night person. So, dude, I would stay up till 2, 3 in the morning, even, you know, when I would work day shift. I didn't get, you know, but nowadays it's like streaming and doing this kind of, you know, trying to maintain the schedule of starting at 6 every morning and stuff. I just try to make sure I'm getting to bed early and getting up on time and stuff. You can get home till after midnight. That's crazy, brother. So that's my trick, dude. I don't know. But yeah, I have those mornings. Where I'm definitely sluggish. Yesterday was one for sure. I wasn't feeling too well either. I think I'm a little bit better today, but I still feel the yuck a little bit. I still feel it. But it'll be good. We'll have fun. 7 Days to Die should be cool. I think so far we've got Pinky and Syke that are going to be playing. I think Ferret's going to be jumping in there with us. So that'll be 4 of us so far. That should leave 4 more spots. I think we can have a max of 8 people in. I think that's what I read. I didn't take a deep dive in, but that's what I saw quickly last night. So there's like possibility, room for 4 more people to jump in and play the game with us and have some fun. So we'll see what's up. Before that, we're gonna do what we do. You guys know how it is. And let's get over here and jump into this video gaming news segment for today, February 4th. Yeah. Before that, this is what we're listening to this morning. Crypt of the Necro Dancer. The Crypt of the Necro Dancer vibes. Rhythm-based adventure type RPG game. Go check it out. OST's extensive and pretty wild, cool stuff, man. So Go check it out, man. Good stuff. We'll kill it. Let's start looking up our articles, man. Let's go. Yeah. Man, there've been, look, I'll pull up The Verge real quick. Dude, I haven't seen an article from The Verge in a hot minute. We used to get stuff from The Verge all the time. Weird. There have been a lot of companies, dude, a lot of fat being trimmed in the industry, if you will. Games being scrapped that are in development, games that have been out for a little bit that maybe aren't living up to expectations being shut down. Firings, dude. Lots of people have been fired here lately. Companies just really downsizing. There's lots of stuff going on, so we've hit on a lot of it. We'll see if this provides anything new for us, but dude, we've already seen where knockout cities getting shut down. Apex Legends and Battlefield Mobile are being shut down. What else was there? Rumbleverse is being shut down. There's a lot of games that are being canceled that have been out. Ubisoft is shutting down a lot of games that were in development. Wizards of the Coast are shutting down a lot of games that were in development. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. We've hit on a lot of it. We'll see if there's anything new in this. We hit on this too, yeah. The Titanfall game that it was actually an Apex Legends. That's probably what they're going to talk about in that Verge article too. It was, the Apex Legends game is based off of the Titanfall universe, and apparently, and they were or had been developing for a while a potential Apex single player campaign game, and that got axed as well. We already hit on that. Nintendo Direct February 2023 rumors. See what's going on there? We've hit enough on this stuff, dude. Dude, I cannot imagine paying $280 for a peripheral, a mouse, a controller, a keyboard. Dude, that thing would have to, I don't know, man, make me breakfast. Um, Clean itself once a month. You know what I mean? Like, there, he, I don't know what to tell you. If there's no way I'm spending that much on a peripheral, dude. No, I am not. I made a clip of that, by the way. Well, there's a clip of us playing Hi-Fi Rush with Wick trolling out about the merch that I should make socks. OA socks that say, if you can read this, what is it? My kids are bringing me eggs right now, or something like that. There's a, there's a flip in, there's a clip of it, dude, in the highlights. It was pretty funny, dude. Isn't that insane though? But I mean, could you imagine paying $280 for a peripheral, dude? I just don't know, man. That's something we've just hit on recently. Like Xbox and PlayStation have like $200 to $250 controllers and stuff. I was like, Jesus, bro. I can't imagine spending that much on something like that. Like, I just don't see myself even spending that amount of money, even if I had the money to spend on it. You know what I mean? It just seems absurd. Yeah, we've hit on the PS Plus games. I'm not gonna hit on it anymore. If you need to take a look, man, the past few news segments highlighted on the channel and on VODs on the YouTube, they go over uh, everything you need to know for what's going away from Xbox Live and PS Plus and what's coming to both of those subscription services. So go take a look at them. I'm done diving into it. We're far enough along in the new month now that I'm going to quit looking at those. Dragon Aid's Dreadwolf report sheds light on release date. We talked about this already. Past couple of days, we've hit on a lot of games shutting down again. The AAA games industry is doomed. Let's pull this up and see what they have to say. Look, I don't think the AAA games industry is doomed, but I think there are a lot of big name developers that have been at the top of the AAA space for a long time that are doomed if they don't change in the near future. And we're seeing it happen with Ubi, and there are other big names that are showing trends of falling into the same kind of space that Ubi's in right now, where they just can't potentially dig themselves out of it. And I think a big part of it just it really comes down to I think we all understand that business is business and you've got to make money, but if you're not taking care of your employees and you don't have a focus on quality content for your consumer as well, if you're not balancing those things at the same time as ensuring, it's not going to sustain. You're going to end up collapsing because people are going to finally see through the facade of what you've become, and you'll end up drowning. And I think that's what's happening to Ubi. Not that everything they create is bad, but they have issues creating anything new, and we talk about that kind of stuff a lot. But we'll take a look at this article. Starfield Reddit cracks down on increasingly absurd release. What? Date speculation? Okay. How to play Hogwarts Legacy early. Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be us too. Yeah, if you buy the like deluxe edition, you can start playing it on the 7th, which is Tuesday, and that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna start playing it on the 7th because ultimately this is one of those occasions where there are a lot of people in our community that are very very excited, and I've been touting this to people. Right, I'm not gonna read through this article. There's no need. I've been telling people this. Um, there is an upgraded edition that if you buy into it early, you can get access to the game early, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm worried about the state of the game on release, but this is one of those titles, and I promote this to our community on the constant. There are enough people that are interested in playing a game on release, and they want to see me play it on release. I'm going to do that for you. Hogwarts Legacy is absolutely one of those titles. And I think what I can do is potentially, especially because there is a version of it you can get into early. That's something I want to do for you guys. That way, it'll give a look to everybody as to what the game has to offer and give you a pretty solid peek at what you could potentially experience in your own playthrough. As far as game content and the quality of this title. That way, maybe if it doesn't pan out to be a fantastic game, I can save some people a little bit of grief in buying into this right away. You know? So we'll be playing it starting on Tuesday. And I just got to figure out what platform to buy. I haven't purchased it yet. I got to figure out what platform I want to buy it on because Steam's going to have DRM and Denuvo DRM. Let's be very clear. And I'm afraid Denuvo is going to wreck the game. So I'll probably be switching over to grab it on like Epic or GOG. And I need to make sure that I need to look and see which one I want to grab it on, basically. So, but that's the play. That's the play. Xbox Series X exclusive will be soon unplayable forever. See what that is. Activision Blizzard to pay SEC $35 million for alleged disclosure flaws. I'll see what that's about. Extended RE4 remake gameplay video walks church. Wait, what? Walks through church and cabin fight. Oh, shut up. This is gonna be kind of spoilery. Let's don't. Let's don't. I'll throw it in chat if you guys are interested. Apparently, there's a nice long, almost entire long chapter of gameplay it shows there. But you know, I don't want to spoil it. Let's not spoil it. It's there in chat. You can look at it if you want. Okay. Yeah, we read about this yesterday too. Gear 6 is going to be the Coalition's next game, supposedly. We deep dive into that in yesterday's news segment. Go take a look if you're interested. Read about that as well yesterday. Looks like Humble Bundle is having a Black History Month collection. You can grab. We'll take a peek at that. MLB The Show 23 coming out on March 28th. This should be on, I think, Xbox, PS5, and Switch, but it will not be on PC. We've already seen that. It's not normally on PC. So, once again, that's normal. I don't know why. Some of these sports games are like that. I don't know why they do this. But It is going to hit on the 28th. If you're interested, that's basically what you need to know. Should be on all major platforms, console-wise anyways, besides PC. Major platforms besides PC, so major consoles. Wild Hearts release date news, gameplay story, and more. We'll hit on that. That should be coming pretty soon. Wild Hearts, if you're not aware, is the game coming out that is basically like it's a Monster Hunter clone, is what it is. It's got some different things that you can do in the game, make it a bit unique outside of what Monster Hunter is, a bit different, but ultimately it's definitely a Monster Hunter clone. So, but it looks good. So if you like Monster Hunter or you like games like that, it might be worth a look, man. So we'll pull it up. Patch Quest is a monster taming roguelite blasting onto PC. Let's see what that is. Oh, Sons of the Forest is going to launch an early access rather than a full release. Hmm. An Austin Powers themed bar is opening in Dallas. Nice. Not gaming news, but that's funny. Yeah, look, Dungeons and Dragons. Everybody's scared of Dungeons and Dragons now. Wizards of the Coast wrecked themselves, dude. They didn't check themselves before they wrecked themselves. You know what I mean? They tried to drop this new open gaming license. Yeah. If you haven't heard, so for the longest time, dude, for the longest time, there's been this very, very friendly open gaming license out of Wizards of the Coast, which is a subsidiary of Hasbro, for the Dungeons and Dragons universe and content, which has made it very, very easy for other creators to utilize various aspects of Dungeons and Dragons content, whether it be mechanics or monsters or play styles or what have you, dude, into their own kind of creations, right? And it's been a very, very good thing, not only for creators themselves, but it's been a very good thing for Dungeons and Dragons as well. Well, it's been a very mutually beneficial kind of situation where it's allowed creators to come up with their own kind of content utilizing Dungeons and Dragons stuff, which has ultimately allowed a lot of people to get into new content, but allowed them to get into it. What's up, gamer? It's allowed them to get into this content without having to start from scratch all the time, if you know what I mean. You know, people, as they got more and more familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, even though they were getting to maybe some of these new universes, even though it was new, it still incorporated Dungeons and Dragons kinds of content and mechanics and things like that. People were familiar with it, so it was an easy transition into a lot of these different kinds of universes and creations and things like that were being made based off of D&D. At the same time, it was very nice for Wizards of the Coast because it kept generating more notoriety and fan base for Dungeons and Dragons. You know what I mean? So it helped Dungeons and Dragons get more and more and more and more popular, right? Well, about a month to, I don't know, was it about a month ago, a month and a half ago, something like that? Wizards of the Coast came out and just like kind of dropped well, it leaked online, basically. It leaked online that they were about to drop a new updated gaming license, OGL, Open Gaming License, which was really restrictive. It was going to severely affect anybody that had ever created any kind of content on based off of any kind of Dungeons and Dragons stuff in the past and in the future moving forward. It basically was Wizards of the Coast showing that they had turned into a greed monster, and that they basically went, "Yo, everybody, thanks for making Dungeons and Dragons so popular. We'll take it from here, and we'll take a bunch of the money that you have, and we'll make off of this moving forward." Okay. And it was heavily criticized. And so they've been trying to backtrack and find ways to kind of save their image while making new versions of this OGL that they were going to release. And it still hasn't been received very well. And it's really damaged Dungeons and Dragons image as far as especially across content creators, where content creators are now looking at Dungeons and Dragons and going, we'll probably just try to stay away from that kind of stuff moving forward. And we've seen a lot of other similar kinds of content, like the Pathfinder creators, and so like they've come out with OGLs themselves that were like, basically, use our stuff. We don't care. This is an OGL that can never be superseded. We want to make sure that people are able to always use our content, and we'll never have to worry about having what Wizards of the Coast is doing to them right now. That will never happen from us. Things like that. You know what I mean? Because it's just been an absolute mess, and it's made Wizards of the Coast look absolutely terrible. So that's basically TLDR, what's gone down so far. Yeah, man. Yep. Gamer, it's good to see you, buddy. Lurking, eating, gaming, working. Word, dude. Word. Dude, I have not, Psych. I have not. Didn't they just come out with a new season of it? Yeah. Have you watched all of it? It is good. I need to check it out. I've heard it was good. Even the first season I heard was pretty solid. But no, I haven't watched it, man. I might have to check it out, dude. Thanks. NetEase announces mysterious new studio. Take a look at that. Let's stick with these. Stick with all this. And see what we got. Spliced. NetEase announces mysterious new studio, Spliced. NetEase has announced the foundation of a brand new studio. Spliced Incorporated is a rather mysterious venture that NetEase says is building the future. And the studio is already working on its first project, although we don't have a lot of information about the project just yet. According to NetEase, Spliced Incorporated consists of a talented group of passionate developers who come from a variety of backgrounds and experiences. These devs include people who've worked on GTA and Red Dead Redemption, as well as The Sims, Rocket League, and Call of Duty. The team also apparently includes alumni from tech firms like Google and Snapchat, as well as fresh faces passionate about making something special. To commemorate the announcement of Spliced, NetEase has released a pretty abstract-looking video that basically consists of an elaborate light show. You can take a look at the video here. Who knows, maybe it'll turn out to contain some clues as to the nature of the studio's first project. Bro, that sounds nostalgic. Yo, Kayla, what's up? How are you? Day off today, Kayla? Saturday's your day off, right? It's like a Saturday. Are you back to the Saturday, Tuesday thing? Yeah? Oh, I'm good, man. I think I'm a little bit better than I was yesterday. I still feel it, man. I still feel it. You know when you have like a little bit of a bug or something, you can feel it like in your head, you can feel it in your eyes, dude. I feel that. That's what I felt yesterday. Yeah, Saturdays. Yeah, okay, cool. Saturday and Thursday. That's what. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't remember if you had Saturday and Thursday last week or if that was this week. Yeah, okay. Woo! So you got a slate of days right now before you get another day off, huh? I hope today is a good day off then. Interesting. Okay. Video mainly consists of a slightly trippy series of CGI-style visuals with dramatic, epic synth music laid over the top. Conclusion of the video, the new Spliced Ink logo can be seen. It's a suitably obscure introduction, but we'll likely learn more about the studio and its work in the coming months. What will Spliced their first project be? We don't know. All we know right now is the game is intended to redefine what a game is, how we interact with them. That wording might sound slightly ominous if you're on the lookout for Web3 related stuff, but at the moment there's no mention of Web3 or blockchain anywhere on the Spliced site, thankfully. Thankfully, yeah. Oh, next 3 weeks. Oh, yikers, dude. Oh, that kind of sucks too. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but having a day off and then working a day and then another day off, that would actually kind of irk me, I think. I wouldn't enjoy that very much. We do know that Spliced will work on a hybrid basis, with offices available in the UK if you want to work in person and support for remote working if you don't. Studio is also currently recruiting, so make sure to take a look at the website if you're in the market for a new job in the industry. I'll link this for you guys just in case you need it, okay? But NetEase, big player there. Yeah, dude, that would really, really irk me. That sucks. I'm sorry. At least, the normal schedule for you of like a Saturday, Tuesday is like, work one day, 2 days, or off one day, 2 days on, off one day, 3 days on. It's broken up more. You know what I mean? Rather than that kind of thing you got going. That's a little bit rough. Ugh, gross. I'm sorry. Humble Bundle launches Black History Month collection. The 8 games would usually set players back £108, but is available via the Humble Bundle for a minimum of £8. Humble has announced a new 8-game collection to celebrate Black History Month. Bundle features 2K Games Mafia 3 Definite Edition, Night Dive Studios Shadow Man and Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn. Players will also be able to get their hands on Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl, an airport for aliens currently run by dogs, and Swim Sanity, alongside Marlo Briggs and the Mask of Death and Semblance. The debut game from South American developer Nyamacop. The bundle would usually set players back £108, but is available via the Humble Bundle for a minimum of £8. Grab it here. Announcing the bundle, Humble wrote, February is Black History Month. When people in the U.S. and around the world look back and reflect on the struggles and hard-won achievements of black people throughout history, it's also an invitation for all of us to think about and discuss the ongoing fight for racial equity and justice today and renew our commitment to being advocates for social causes that support the black community everywhere. Yeah. Here, if you guys need this, I'll pull up Humble real quick too. If you're not familiar with Humble, most people probably are at this point, but if you're not, Humble does a pretty solid job at putting out a lot of different you can just find games on their site and everything, but they do bundles all the time, right? And they have like sales uh, but it's not like a library. You don't maintain a library here. Quite often, the games that you're going to get here, you're going to get codes for Steam. I think they do codes for other platforms too, but quite often the codes that you get here are going to be on the Steam platform. You can see it right here. Windows, Steam, Windows, Steam. You know what I mean? But what is great is that they're all about charities. You know, a lot of what they get here off of these bundles and things, they give to charity, and you can see in the bundles themselves. We'll go look at celebrating Black History Month. That's what the one we just talked about was, right? What they always do is you can pay what you want, right? So if you pay $10 or more, you get all eight items, right? You get all 8 of these items. But you can pay more if you want, and it goes to charity. You get all 8 items, and the extra money that you pay actually goes to charity. Yeah, and they talk about all the charity stuff they do on their site and stuff like that. So it's worth looking into, man. There are some cool organizations out there. Whether you talk about like GDQ, Games Done Quick, or Humble. Just places like that do a great job for trying to raise money for charity. And, you know, if any of these games or this bundle sounds cool, then maybe consider you can even do an other amount down here. You don't have to do one of their static amounts here. You can put in whatever amount you want. And as long as it's above that amount to get exactly all the games, then you can give a little bit more if you wanted to, you know. But this is their site. I'll give you the main page, okay? Uh, a full Friday this Friday, the 17th. I can only work 6.5 hours, and then 24 I only work 7 hours. I can stay in bed for an extra hour both those days because I don't have to be in sick. Sick. That sounds great. More time in bed is good time. You know. All right. Wild Hearts release date, news, gameplay, story, and more. This is weird. Can you go over to the other side? There, that'll work, I guess. The Wild Hearts release date is fast approaching, but what is the game? It's basically Monster Hunter meets Fortnite. Okay. Only I actually slept. Oh, you've got those issues, huh? Yeah. A bit of an insomniac, maybe. Insomnia, got some of that insomnia. I know a good amount of people that have issues like that. It sucks, dude. So I'm sorry. It's basically Monster Hunter meets Fortnite. I don't see that. Meets Fortnite? Big monsters we're looking forward to defeating in an exciting combat experience. If you want to know more, read on. Um, Wild Hearts is a new kind of hunting game by Tecmo and Omega Force, published by EA, which combines Monster Hunter with Fortnite. Yeah, I mean, because it has crafting mechanics, but it doesn't craft the same way Fortnite does. So don't think of it that way. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry, Kayla. That's brutal. Um, so it does introduce an innovative crafting mechanic in the combat against the kimono giant beasts that have fused with nature and mutated in something astonishing. Absolutely, we've seen gameplay, and yeah, you do craft things. You craft these. You can craft barriers to protect you. You can craft, weapons and even traps and things like that to kind of hold down the monster for a little bit while you get attacks. And there's all kinds of stuff like that in the game, but it doesn't seem to be crafting the same way that you would do it in Fortnite. So it doesn't. It seems a weird simulation to me. Assimilation to bump it up against something like Fortnite. I don't know. Um, if you haven't seen it, we'll watch the trailer real quick. Um, You can journey through its vibrant world alone or experience it with up to 2 friends in seamless co-op. World of Wild Hearts takes place in Azuma, which is inspired by feudal Japan and has a thrilling fantasy landscape. The mutated beasts, which usually live peacefully, are now rampaging across the countryside, destroying their surroundings and driving out the citizens from their villages. You are the only hunter who can wield ancient technology to create an array of karakuri. With this, you can set traps, react to attackers, and deliver devastating damage to the beasts. It looks pretty good. It does look pretty good. But, again, I mean, it absolutely is Monster Hunter. It's a Monster Hunter clone, dude.
So, visitors to the land of the East. You do realize Azuma is fraught with danger. The kimono grow ever more desperate. They battle for territory. They clash for prey. But in you, is the power to stop this. In you, there is the seed of invention. You need only hunt. Trust that in so doing, the seed will soon grow. You will become a force.
So I do think the building part of it is definitely something that sets it apart. That's the most unique thing about this title that sets it apart from Monster Hunter is the building stuff. But it's not building like you see in Fortnite. So I find that a weird comparison from this article. It doesn't seem like Fortnite building or anything. So I would don't think that. But February 17th, there we go. Little under 2 weeks left. Wild Hearts release date is February 16th. When Wild Hearts comes out, it'll be available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. If you want to play Wild Hearts on PC, you can purchase it on Steam or Epic or the EA App Store. Wild Hearts will support crossplay at launch. This is great for players who have friends on different consoles. Every new kimono or beast that you defeat unveils new karakuri and new resources to use according to the game Steam page. Azuma is split into 4 regions, each of which is based on a different season, so expect plenty of diversity in the temperatures of each region, as well as further diversity in biomes within every region. There are no classes, but similar to Monster Hunter, you create your own character, and the abilities depend on the equipped weapon. A list of weapons types follows. Claw blade, cannon, staff, katana, wagasa, paper umbrella, staff, shuriken staff, bow, nadasa, it's a great sword, and maul. If you need more here, I'll throw it in chat for you. Might be worth a look for anybody that's had fun with Monster Hunter, you know. Wait, what? What's a Darth? I'm not awakened up yet. That was good, dude. Nice. My dude. That's definitely what we would have to use then, huh? Patch Quest is a monster taming roguelite blasting onto PC. Let's watch this real quick. Nice sight, dude. This is adorable. All right. Curve Games and Lychee Games Labs have unleashed a trailer for a monstrous new adventure coming next month and mixing adorable creatures with bullet hell action. Interesting. Patch Quest is a manic mix of ideas that is likely to be roarsome. Due to explode on PC on March 2nd, this brightly colored presentation plunges players into the jungle surrounded by vicious monsters. Unlike traditional pocket monsters, you'll need to lasso these critters and hope they don't bite back. As this adventure parades through the undergrowth of Patchlantis, you'll need to rope in a range of over 50 species. Shut up, What's up, dude? Shut up. Oh, dude, mods are on fire today. What's up, brother? Oh man. You can count. It's not count. You can mount every monster in the game to claim their skills as your own. All of these have a unique set of skills. Some of them can fly, swim, or leap across hazardous terrain. All of them can pack a serious punch in combat. Those boosts and behaviors will be required because every run you make spawns a new patchwork of terrain, different monsters, and new challenges to overcome with over 200 unique plants and minerals, gadgets, ammo, fruits, flowers, and tons of shortcuts through the forest. There's plenty to do and see between the epic boss battles that await. Hopefully there's treasure too. While Patch Quest has been in early access for an extended period, looks like it's ready to roar. If you love Binding of Isaac but want something a little closer to Let's Build a Zoo than Pokemon, then grab a rope and check out Steam Store now. Here you go. That's interesting. Interesting, chat. Sons of the Forest is going to not be full release. It's going to be early access now. The developer at Midnight Games have announced their upcoming survival horror game Sons of the Forest will launch in an early access state rather than a full release. Uh-oh. A game of this caliber takes time, as those of us that played The Forest know how important it is for the sequel to go above and beyond the original. Today, the devs announced that Sons of the Forest will not be ready in time for a full release, and they are going to launch it into early access instead. They mentioned they did this so that the release date will remain the same, rather than push it back for further polish. The first trailer for the game was released back in 2019 during the Game Awards, and since then we have seen some promising footage of what to expect from the release. The devs say this is one of the most complex games they've ever worked on, and while it has been almost 4 years since the announcement of Sons of the Forest, they still need more time to add the remaining mechanics and items, as well as balance out the gameplay. While this might be slightly disappointing, it's better than a complete pushback on the release date in its entirety, as they have done twice already. Yikers, dude. The game was delayed for the first time with a release window of May 2022, then October of last year, and then it was finally pushed back to February of this year. The reasoning behind those delays was the same. Devs need more time to give it a final coat of paint. Sequel is anything like its predecessor, one can only imagine what's to come. The Forest was a huge success after its release, not only due to the complexity of the game, but it was just fun to play, especially with friends. Not to mention the amount of popularity it gained once tutorials were placed online and stuff like that. Yeah. Though Sons of the Forest will release in early access, hopefully it will be filled to the brim with content to enjoy during the interim prior to its full release. That makes me almost not want to dive into it initially. It's on our schedule to play after Hogwarts Legacy, and if all the content's not going to be there, I don't know that I want to dive into that yet. Because I'm not as apt to go back to it. I'd rather fill the time with something we can play in full. and then play this when it does go in full release at some point in the future. We're gonna have to talk about this. So, we'll have to see. But it does sound like all the content's not necessarily going to be there when this releases in early access at the end, towards the end of February. So, I don't know that we're going to play it at the end of February now. It's a bit of a turnoff for me. What I'm worried about is playing the game in early access and you not being able to get through the entire story or something. You know what I mean? I don't want that to happen. I don't want to play through the game and not be able to finish the entire story or find out later on when it releases in full that there was more to the story that you can experience if you go back and play it again, because I won't be as apt to go back and play it again. You know what I mean? If we've already played it. So we'll see. We'll talk about it. Xbox Series, it just might be better for us to delay the playthrough until it goes full release. Xbox Series X exclusive will soon be unplayable forever. An Xbox exclusive released last year via Xbox One and Series X and S is shutting down a year later. And when it shuts down, it will be completely unplayable. Just last month, Xbox released a successful exclusive in the form of Hi-Fi Rush. This success has not been emblematic of the generation so far, which hasn't been great for Xbox. To stumble out of the gate is perhaps best represented by Crossfire X, which was released on February 10th of 2022 and finished the year as the third lowest rated game on Metacritic with a score of 38. If that was out of 40, that'd be great, but it's not. That's out of 100. Suffice to say, it should come as no surprise it's shutting down on May 18th. What's a bit surprising, though, is not only is the game's multiplayer shutting down, but the single-player campaign as well. It is with the deepest regret that we are informing you of our decision to end support for Crossfire X on May 18th. Reads a statement from Smilegate Entertainment. Since the launch of the game, we have worked tirelessly to bring it to a point where we can all be proud, and throughout it all, we have had the honor and pleasure of supporting our players. The statement continues. Coming to this decision was not easy. However, we can proudly say that our players have been amazingly active, passionate, and enthusiastic in working with us to create a game that would be fun and enjoyable by all. We want to thank each and every one of our players for playing Crossfire X and being a part of this journey with us. So what does this mean for those playing? Well, there will be no more new content added and no more in-game purchase options, with those made within the last 14 days of February 3rd eligible for a refund. Meanwhile, all purchase options on the Xbox Store will be halted, and that's it. You have until May 18th to play the game before it disappears forever. As for why it's being pulled, it's not said. That said, it's pretty easy to see that keeping the game running costs more than it is bringing in, and it's finally been an appropriate amount of time to pull the plug. I mean, there's a lot of games shutting down, and that's ultimately what it always comes down to. Is it worth keeping the game alive? Is the cost of, are you making enough money on the game to keep it going? Quite often, obviously if a game is getting X'd, if it's being shut down, the answer is no. And I hear people all the time, we come across these games where it's like, why are they doing that? Why are they shutting? Well, because it's not worth keeping it alive, unfortunately. There aren't enough people playing the game. It's not generating enough revenue. The resources that are being put into keeping the game alive need to be placed elsewhere for that development company, so they're shutting it down. This one's an easier take, I think, for a lot of people. This game was a really, really bad game. We've known that for a while, but there are other games that we've talked about here recently, whether it be Knockout City or Rumbleverse, things like that people have ultimately enjoyed their experiences with, but they're shutting down, and people go, why? What's happening? Yeah, Kayla. Dude, it's been real cold here lately, here too. It's been really cold. Yeah, no doubt. I don't know, what's the temperature this morning? Man, it is warmer today. It's warmer today than it has been. Woo-wee, dude. It's in the 20s today. I mean, wind chill makes it feel like about 10 degrees, but that's much better than it has been the past few days. Much better. That's Fahrenheit, by the way. Activision Blizzard to pay SEC $35 million for alleged disclosure flaws. The Securities and Exchange Commission fined Activision Blizzard $35 million on charges that the video game company lacked adequate controls for handling complaints of workplace misconduct and violated an SEC whistleblower protection rule. Activision Blizzard, which Microsoft aims to buy for $69 billion, knew from 2018 until 2021 that it faced risks to its ability to attract, retain, and motivate employees, but lacked procedures for collecting and analyzing complaints of misconduct and for assessing whether public disclosure was necessary, the SEC said Friday. Under agency rules, public companies are required to disclose risks and changes in the business outlook. The company failed to implement necessary controls to collect and review employee complaints about workforce misconduct, which left it without the means to determine whether larger issues existed that needed to be disclosed to investors. Jason Burt, director of the SEC's Denver regional office, said in a statement. Describing a second alleged violation, the SEC said that in separation agreements from 2016 until 2021, Activision Blizzard required that employees provide notice to the company if they received a request from the SEC for information, the agency said. Taking action to impede former employees from communicating directly with commission staff about a possible securities law violation is not only bad corporate governance, it is illegal, Burt said. The company early last year removed the notification clause from its separation agreements. Activision Blizzard agreed to pay the $35 million penalty without admitting or denying the SEC's findings, the agency said. Activision Blizzard, the creator of Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, so many other titles, Overwatch, you name it, has been under regulatory scrutiny for several years, yes. California's Civil Rights Department sued the company in July of 2021, alleging that women employees were sexually harassed and paid less than men. The agency at the time was called the Department of Fair Employment and Housing. Activision Blizzard denied the allegations. Later in 2021, the company agreed in a settlement with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to create an $18 million compensation fund. More and more and more for Activision Blizzard, man. Again, I really think that they need somebody to come in. I think Microsoft can do it. I think that company needs another company to come in and strip it down and build it back up. Are there issues with the fact that it could result in some an amount of anti-competitiveness? Yes, but it could also promote competitiveness within the industry as well if done right. And I think Microsoft could be a good company to come in and get things done. Bobby Kotick needs to be ousted, though. In my opinion, that individual cannot be at the head of that company anymore. He's been there the whole time all this crap has gone down, and he's still there. I don't understand how that has happened. He's been there through all of this, at the head of this company, and he's still there. I don't get it. There's something weird going on, man. But you guys know my feelings on that whole situation. EA and Meta weren't the only companies to axe games this week. Yeah. A lot of live service games are shutting down. Over the course of this week, developers of several major live service titles announced their games would be shutting down. That means players who have actively enjoyed those games and possibly spent money on them might have to move on to something new or something else. Yeah. Yeah, we talked a lot about this yesterday. It's like it's a very hard thing for many games to come in and compete with the huge, massive, successful titles that are in some of these genres, some of these spaces of the gaming live service space, you know. Whether you talk about MMOs or you talk about battle royales or, you know, even just FPS, competitive FPS space, whatever. There are some titles that make it very, very difficult for other games to get into that space and be successful. Even if they're good games and games that people like, it's hard to pull player base away from the other big games. Shutdowns are a reminder of the challenges facing these ambitious online titles. If they don't quickly become massive hits, they might be closed down before they really have time to find their footing. Any new entrants to have to fight an uphill battle to compete against juggernauts like Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, and Fortnite. Yeah, it means for many of these newer games, they're stuck in a chicken and egg situation. They need players to become a hit. Players may not want to jump in given the glut of other options available, and some games just need time to really catch on. Fortnite, for example, didn't even launch as a battle royale, right? What was shut down? Apex Legends Mobile and Battlefield Mobile, we talked about that yesterday and the day before. Knockout City, we talked about that yesterday. Rumbleverse, we talked about that a few days ago and yesterday. Crossfire X, we hit on that today. Echo VR, you can keep playing Echo VR, one of Meta's flagship VR games, until August 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Though the company won't be offering refunds on its in-app purchases, in-game currency, or DLC. By no means was this decision made lightly. Developer Ready at Dawn said in a blog post, but it was made for many good reasons. And chief among them is the studio coming together to focus on our next project. We can't say anything about it yet, but we're all excited and need all hands on deck. I've never played Echo VR, but my colleague Sean Hollister is a fan, and you should read his article about the announcement. There's a link here if you guys want, and I'll throw this in chat. More bummer gaming news. Microsoft is going to yank some beloved games off the 360 marketplace. Yep, we fit on this as well. Square Enix is shutting down Dragon Quest Mobile. Yep, Turtle Rock, we hit on this yesterday, is finished making new content for Back 4 Blood. Yep, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor is pushed back from March to April. End of April. At least we have Hi-Fi Rush, which rules, and I can, I'll back that up. Hi-Fi Rush is fantastic. Great game. Yeah. But, I mean, it's true. I think, this is one of the titles we talked about yesterday while I was trying to find something new to play. We were talking a little bit about, I think it was Fat Pat, had brought up Shatterline, and he had recommended me jump back in there, and I just talked about my time in that game and why I enjoyed it. I put roughly 135 hours in that game, and I just talked about what I liked and why I quit playing it too, though. I think that's an important thing to understand. From an indie developer, Shatterline's very good, and I'm just using that as an example of a game that is in a space very similar to a lot of these other games, getting into a genre that's very polluted. It's hard to find a player base, to bring a player base in to really elevate a title to the next level and bring it notoriety and keep it lifted up in order to be successful, and ultimately for me, I liked the game enough to keep playing it for a while, but it wasn't moving in the direction that I wanted it to, so I quit playing it. But it was good. I think that it's a hard thing to pull player bases away from the very popular titles. I don't actually necessarily enjoy the popular stuff personally. I want to see new, very well done, unique kind of titles come about. The problem is that it's not always easy for the new titles to bring in new content the way that the bigger titles can and the bigger developers can, because they have more resources at their disposal to do it with. And that's what keeps generating the high player base numbers. And, obviously it's a very enticing thing to keep players coming back and playing those games is, new content and keeps it fresh, keeps you motivated to keep grinding in those games and things like that. And so it's a difficult thing. It's a hard world in gaming to get into these genres and be competitive. And if you're not making money, if you're wasting money, if you're just sinking at some point, if it doesn't look like the ship's going to right itself, you just got to kind of cut your losses and move on and try to do something new and hope that the new thing is going to be better, do some lessons learned and move on, I guess. Nintendo Direct rumors reveal the blurred lines between guesses and leaks. Why? Can you bring this over to the left for me? That'll work, I guess. We'll just read it like that. That's huge. Uh, the video game industry is shrouded in mystery. Games are only sparsely shown to the public. Showcases can happen at a moment's notice, and even entire games can be developed without the public ever knowing about it. This is why there is a culture of paying attention to industry insiders and leakers who allegedly seek to give the public a peek behind the curtain as to what is on the horizon. The latest leaks that have the internet abuzz are about an impending Nintendo Direct. There's just one caveat. They are all educated guesses. Because Nintendo has traditionally done February Direct showcases. That's what this is about. And everybody wants to see Tears of the Kingdom, which is going to come out in May. So there's a lot of speculation about the fact that we will see some more Tears of the Kingdom stuff. This is their big hyped title for release this year. And so there's there's reason to believe that they're really going to show a good amount of Tears of the Kingdom stuff in the next Direct showcase. They want to hype this up as much as possible, right? February 6th? That's 2 days. Or February 6th. Nintendo's so terrible. Why is Nintendo so bad about... If this is true, dude, if it's February 6th or 7th, that's literally 2 to 3 days from now, and we haven't heard anything official from Nintendo. They're so bad about putting out information on when they're actually going to hold these showcases until, like, literally right before they do it. The week of February 6th. So it could be that somewhere throughout this coming week. So potentially Metroid Prime Remaster, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess were things that were previously claimed that didn't happen. This is a lot of speculation, dude. I don't know. There's nothing substantial within that article. Nintendo traditionally does a February Direct showcase. Which is just, if you're going off of historic data, that would tell you that we should be getting a Nintendo Direct at some point in this month. The fact that before we know it, we'll be approaching basically, Pinky, yeah, dude. The fact that their big title to come out this year is obviously Tears of the Kingdom. They're going to be trying to hype that title up. It won't be that long, dude. Before you know it, we'll be approaching the release date for that. We're a few months away, but before you know it, it'll be here. And they're going to be trying to get as much information out and hype around that game as possible. So, I mean, Nintendo is actually terrible about, just so terrible about getting information out about their Direct showcases. And so we usually don't find out until a day or two, if that long, before they actually hold their showcase. I don't know what it is about Nintendo not wanting people to know, or I don't know if they just don't have their crap together. I don't know what it is, but we'll keep track. I'll keep trying to do searches every day during the news and find out if there's any official word of when they're going to do their Direct showcase. And we'll, as soon as we find out when it is, if we do, we'll watch it live as long as it's within our close to or within our normal stream time, so we'll find out. Dragon Age Dreadwolf report sheds light on release date and Inquisition features. The first update on Dragon Age Dreadwolf in 2023 is here, but it comes not via BioWare and EA or anyone working on the game, but a new and unofficial report. So grain of salt here, guys. According to this report, the game is still some ways off from the release. Well, yeah. We knew that. While rumors and general speculation have suggested the game could release this year, the new report casts doubt on this possibility, noting the game still has major things to work out. Well, we just read at the end of last year that the game was front to back playable, in a playable state. And that was from BioWare. They said it's in a playable state, meaning that it still needed a lot of polish. That's what they were working on at that point. They said front and back, fully playable, but at that point, everything that they were focused on was polishing, bugs, things of that nature. So it wasn't necessarily close to release, but it at least was front to back finished. That still meant there was quite a bit left to get done to make sure that it was in a great state for release, right? The report notes that some of the game's multiplayer components still linger in the game. It's noted that there's a central hub that was apparently reminiscent of games like Destiny. However, as you may know, Dragon Age Inquisition had its own central hub. Also, like Dragon Age Inquisition, the game sees players recruit and grow their group over time, and by completing missions in these characters will populate said hub area where they can be interacted with and customized through equipment. Perhaps like the war table in Dragon Age Inquisition, there will be a mirrored portal where plays pass from the hub area to missions. I think players pass from the hub area to missions. There's a misspell there. The report also mentions combat being hack and slash, which suggests more action-oriented like Inquisition and the second game, and less tactical than Origins. In fact, the report notes that you will not be able to control squad mates, just select their abilities. A combat wheel compared to the combat wheel in Final Fantasy 15 is also mentioned. The report concludes by noting it expects the game to release in 2024, not in 2023, based on the current state of the game and its development. And for what it's worth, we've always heard things about the game and its development that have suggested a 2023 release date was very unlikely. Yeah. Just plan on 2024. This is the best thing for people to do. If you're hyped about a game and there's no definitive release date, but there's like a very vague, could be this year, but probably next year. Just plan on next year. Just plan on it. If it comes out earlier, then cool, man. That's good. As long as it releases in a good state. But if you plan on a release date further out, then you're not going to be disappointed. You know what I mean? Rather than vice versa and planning on something earlier and it not coming out until later. So, that applies here. AAA games industry is doomed. I don't think it's doomed, but I think a lot of the old school AAA developers are in a really bad state, and if they don't change their ways, they're doomed. We've seen, again, I mean, I'm going to use Tango as a developer that has shown us that the AAA space is not doomed. They just came out with something that was absolutely, this is a very, very unique situation. You don't see this very often, but it's not necessarily doomed. We're seeing rays of hope, if you will, from things like Hi-Fi Rush. But these are few and far between, man. The video games industry is in big trouble. It's easy to roll your eyes at a big headline like the games industry is doomed. I did, and I wrote the bloody thing. But the business of making and selling games has changed, and the publishers, often a handful of decision-making executives, just aren't getting the message. Even at a surface level, the issues are obvious. Video games used to be made by a handful of people and sold for about the same price as they do today. Now games are hideously expensive, take years to make, and the audience now spends more money and time on their favorite games, spending less of both on newer releases. If you worked on, say, GoldenEye 007 for the N64 all the way back in 97, you were part of a tiny team. When the game shipped, the carts went out. The team presumably went out for a beer and then prepared to start work on the next project. Development cost around $2.5 million for the entirety of its 2.5 years in development. And it looked great. The game set you back around 60 pounds at launch, ended up selling 8 million copies. It was widely successful, the third best-selling Nintendo 64 game behind Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64. No new content was coming, so chances are you would buy a few other cards too, only jumping back in for an occasional blast on multiplayer. Uncharted 4, the best-selling PlayStation 4 game, sold 16 million units. It was worked on by around half of Naughty Dog's 300 employees, but was produced allegedly under a grueling crunch cycle that involved developers working 12-hour days. Many people who worked on that game left after development, but those who remained stayed on to keep patching the game and cleaning up bugs. 18 million sounds like a lot of copies until you consider that Uncharted 4 also cost £60 to buy. The exact budget has never been revealed, but press estimates suggest an eye-watering figure. Uncharted 4 also had a multiplayer mode, but was a much smaller offering than a lot of traditional multiplayer games. It's a huge gulf when compared to the N64 days. And even that's nothing compared to a title like 2013's GTA 5, which is still getting regular content updates to its online multiplayer to this day. Scores of developers still work on Grand Theft Auto 5, which has been re-released for six successive console generations and also released for the PC. The only way to fund all of this is for the developer Rockstar to sell microtransactions, letting you buy flying bikes, bulletproof armored personnel careers, or even a penthouse above an in-game casino with real money if you're so inclined. Rockstar has even decided that people keep playing GTA Online is their big goal, moving away from other developments to focus on their online crime mode. Yeah. As graphical fidelity has improved, the amount of work required to create assets has increased, and the only way to feasibly release a game without 10 years of development time is to staff up. The investment required to actually release something into the world now is so much higher. The business of creating games is now nearly unrecognizable from where it was 25 years ago. As a result, the title now needs to be played by more people and make more money to be profitable. But there are now more games clamoring for people's attention these days, and data seems to suggest that players are spending more time with games than ever before. While before someone on the first PlayStation might have played 20 to 30 games a year, it's now feasible for one player to play Fortnite and nothing else, putting a few quid into cosmetics a month while they clock hundreds of hours. So with this many live games fighting for attention, how is any game supposed to truly break through and make its mark? Sadly, this is the only option. With numbers as big as those pumped out by games like Fortnite, a larger company is going to need to sell several times as many copies if they were to have a hope of being viewed as successful. If they want to avoid angry Steam reviews claiming that a title is a dead game, they need to keep updating it regularly too. Yep. Games just aren't allowed to be moderately successful anymore either. Faced with a middling game that will probably sell just okay, most companies are now choosing to cut their losses early or lock themselves into a perpetual delay loop to try and get a game that delivers on its promise. See Ubisoft's perpetually delayed Skull and Bones, or even the We Promise They're Coming Splinter Cell and Prince of Persia remakes. Yesterday, news broke of EA canceling Titanfall. Basically, Apex Legends campaign. Soon after, news also broke of the Apex Legends and Battlefield mobile games being shut down. Yeah. Ubisoft is looking perpetually shaky at this point after not releasing a big game for a while, but factoring in the below tweet, they have released big games. They just haven't done great. But factoring in the below tweet that shows their stock plummeting to be worth less than 20% of their January 2021 values, it's not easy to see a clear path forward. Yeah. Fans are part of the problem too, calling out games for both real and imagined technical faults, weaponizing their collective ire to harass developers had again, are mired in crunch and working longer and longer on titles people are unlikely to play. This creates a hostile environment that encourages developers to make safer choices, lest the internet fall on them. Back in 2015, a Call of Duty developer received death threats after tweaking the reload times on a few guns in the game during a balance patch. If you're harassing anyone online, you're an asshole. Yeah, agreed. But it's perhaps not really the fans' fault that their expectations are sky high. Years and years of pre-release marketing for AAA titles has focused on how much bigger and better we can make games and how much more fidelity you can squeeze in after all. We've been duped a lot. Yeah, they've created a monster here, no doubt about it. While on a recent trip to a studio, I talked to a developer about how impressed with the carpet physics in Naughty Dog's recent The Last of Us Part 1 were. He looked at me soberly and said, but now the team has to hit that quality level with every single release, or fans will accuse them of being lazy. Was this worth the extra development hours? It's something I've been thinking about since. How do you de-escalate this technology war with leaving fans feeling like they've been shortchanged? So AAA development is heading for imminent disaster, and it doesn't seem like an easy thing to avoid. It's not sure what comes next, but it will have to be a radical departure from the current status quo, because clearly the way the biggest and flashiest games are being made at present clearly isn't working. Yeah. Look, I agree with some of this. A good part of it. But again, I think that not everybody that's a gamer is solely focused on how everything looks. There are a lot of us out there that also, the graphical fidelity of something isn't first and foremost for us. It's gameplay. It's how something feels, and a lot of the other things that come together in a game to present an amazing experience outside of just a scorn best game. Oh, Jesus. Give me a break. Oh, God. So, but again, I think one of the biggest issues here is that there are so many of these big developers that have just lost their way of bringing quality content. It's been all about just leaning on the popularity of a title and polluting a segment with like Ubi has done with Assassin's Creed, and that'll work for an amount of time, but eventually that'll result in people looking at that series, especially people that haven't ever played it before, and go, "It's too much. I don't think I want to dive into that. Where do you even begin?" You know, and it's like, how do you get hyped about something that's just popping out every single year or twice a year? You know, it's I don't know. And it seems like, again, a lot of them have an issue of getting in a rut of not being able to create anything unique anymore. And I think there's more to it than just what's stated in this article. Um, Take Ubi trying to create something unique like Skull and Bones. They have a hard time. Oh, bro. Perfect, dude. There you go. Yeah. I mean, they do. They have a hard time sometimes, creating unique titles. They're not, they get into a situation they're not good at doing that anymore, and so I don't know. I don't know. I've seen Ubisoft dying for a while. I see other major AAA studios that have been having similar issues that. They've been able to get away with stuff for a while, you know? Yeah, you're good, Psych, yeah. They've been able to get away with stuff for a while that I think because they've had fans of their historic games, and they've got fans that don't look critically at the mistakes they make and things like that. But it'll eventually catch up to them. And I think that's what's happening to some of these studios. You release games in a very bad state, or you release games that are just super buggy, but they have some qualities that are good, and you get people that are just big enough fans of the series, or big enough fans of the developer, that they overlook that stuff. I'm not one of those people, but I've met a lot of people like that. They just overlook things because they're fans, and it's like, dude, eventually it'll catch up, you know. And there are a lot of AAA a lot of developers that started out small. They got big, and they turned into these monsters that just they lose that ability to create quality content on the constant. They lose the ability to create new, unique content. I think that's a big part of what's killing a lot of these AAA devs, personally. Last article. Then we'll get into the gaming stuff, dude. 7 Days to Die. So if anybody has anything else to add, let me know, and we'll address it before we move on, okay? Starfield Reddit cracks down on increasingly absurd release date speculation. Even Starfield's biggest fans are sick of release date rumors. To stem the tide of rampant rumor mongering, the Starfield subreddit has cracked down with a single bucket where you can deposit all your release date speculation and false information. We do not know precisely when Starfield release date is. A support site page still says the game is set to launch in the first half of 2023. That's the extent of the official information. Even the usual insiders don't have much to say on the subject. Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb said it on a paywalled podcast a few days ago that Starfield could launch in June, but that he definitely did not feel confident about it. Adding to that, Microsoft has not provided any concrete idea of when to expect the big Starfield showcase it promised when the game skipped the recent Xbox developer showcase that happened back on the 25th of January. Now everyone's worried, and this environment rife with speculation has left community forums like the Starfield subreddit in a bit of a frenzied state. Moderators of the subreddit report that they have removed a massive amount of posts violating various discussion rules recently. And in an effort to crack down, they've put together a release date speculation false information megathread, where you can finally recklessly speculate about the launch day to your heart's content. Please keep in mind we do still have rules on pure speculation. Moderator Cyrus224 says, if you're posting new information, use a real source and not my uncle's boss's cousin brother just quit Bethesda, or this person on Twitter with 6 followers who is a barista and totally heard Todd Howard say the release date. Yes, this was a post we removed. Nice. Yo, Pinky, go post it in the subreddit, dude. I'll link this for you, dude. According to the discussion, Starfield is set to release on January 2nd, March 3rd, March 21st, June 29th, June 31st, sometime in September, and simply a day during the year. At least one of those dates does not exist. But hey, if you keep throwing out dates, one of them will eventually be correct. I'm gonna say 2024. So yeah, dude, look, this is one of those things that kills me about like the gaming community too. This is one of those driving factors that gets. I talk a lot about the just trying to get people. Oh, excuse me. To just chill out and let developers like give us information when they're ready to give us information, instead of trying to data mine or even to the point of hacking a developer to get information and leak information and put a developer push their hand into giving us information they're not ready to give us yet or whatever. Dude, we'll get the information whenever it's time to get the information, you know. It's like, just chill out, dude. Just chill out. I mean, with the plethora of games that are out there in the world to play, there's got to be something out there for everybody to bide their time until, you know, all these people that are hyped about Starfield, you know what I mean? It'll come. It'll come when it's supposed to come, so just chill out. And we'll get more information about it whenever the developer's ready to give us information about it. So, you know, just take a chill pill, man. Relax. Play something else for a little bit, and we'll get it when we get it, man. They'll give us the information when they're ready for it. It's so crazy to me. I don't know. That's the breaks, man. Them's the jams. That's the news, baby. That's the news. You guys rock, man. Appreciate you very much. We're gonna move on into our gaming content, baby. Playing some 7 Days to Die on the weekends moving forward. Starting that today with community members. So this is a game I've been interested in trying out for quite a while. One of the things it's a bit of a turnoff. I gotta say that this game has been in early access for over 7 years now, I think, and that's a weird thing for me. I don't think any game should be able to be in early access for over two to 3 years. That's really weird. But you know, a lot of people have enjoyed 7 Days to Die, and I'm interested in diving in here and seeing what it's all about. And big shout out to our buddy, longtime supporter, our mod here, the myth, the legend, Syke, for gifting this game to us at the end of last year, so we could take a dive into it at some point, and we're finally there, man. And we should have some fun playing around. I love playing games with the community, and big shout out to Syke. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it very much, man. And we'll be playing the game with Syke and our buddy Pinky, and I think Ferret's gonna jump in there with us. And we got about 4 more slots if anybody wants to dive in and take a play, some community game time with us, have some fun. The only thing I ask is that people understand this is the first playthrough for me, so no spoilers, please. Just try to let me get a feel for the game a little bit, be a conscientious gamer, and let's have some fun with it. Cool. On that note, we're gonna head over that way, but if anybody is checking out this new segment later on as a highlight here on the channel, or as a VOD on the YouTube channel, and you're enjoying this content or any other content perhaps that you've come across in either of these places on the interwebs, then let's see what you can do about coming and hanging out with myself and the rest of these amazing people that are part of this community whenever we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. We start all of our streams off with video gaming news before we jump into all kinds of different gaming content for the rest of the day. We have a lot of fun, we have a lot of laughs, and we have just a really, really cool community here. So come hang out with us, have some fun. Other than that, you guys, happy Saturday. Okay, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, and we'll catch everybody tomorrow for February 5th edition of Video Gaming News and day 2 of 7 Days to Die. Cool?